Building dynamic event-driven automation in AWS with EventBridge and TypeScript. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. In today's cloud-native landscape, event-driven architectures have become a cornerstone for building scalable and responsive applications. AWS EventBridge is a powerful service that allows developers to easily create event-driven applications, while TypeScript offers a robust and type-safe way to write JavaScript. In this podcast, we'll explore how to leverage AWS EventBridge and TypeScript to build dynamic event-driven automation. We'll cover the prerequisites, project setup, core Lambda function creation, dynamic generation of event bridge rules, API execution, rule cleanup, advanced use cases, customization, and best practices. Introduction to EventBridge and Event-Driven Architectures. AWS EventBridge is a serverless event bus that allows you to connect your applications using data from various sources. It simplifies building event-driven architectures by providing a central event management and routing hub. EventBridge can integrate with over 100 AWS services and SaaS applications, enabling you to dynamically create complex workflows and automate tasks. Event-driven architectures, IDAS, rely on events to trigger actions within a system. This approach allows for decoupled components, improved scalability, and real-time responsiveness. EventBridge will enable you to harness the power of IDAS to build responsive and efficient applications. Prerequisites for the tutorial. Before we dive into the project setup and implementation, ensure you have the following prerequisites in place. AWS account. An active AWS account with necessary permissions. Node.js. Installed on your local machine, LTS version recommended. AWS CLI. Configured with your AWS account credentials. TypeScript. Installed globally via npm. AWS SDK for JavaScript, installed in your project. IAM roles and permissions. Appropriate roles and policies for Lambda functions and EventBridge. Project setup and initialization. Create a new project directory. Migar EventBridge automation. CD EventBridge automation. Initialize a new Node.js project. npm init. Install required dependencies. npm install TypeScript AWS SDK at type/AWS SDK. npm install save dev at type/node. Initialize TypeScript configuration. npx tsc init. Configure TypeScript settings. Update tconfig.json with the following settings. Compiler options. Target, ES6. Module, CMONJS. Strict, true. S-module interop, true. Skip libcheck, true. Force consistent casing in file names, true. Creating the core Lambda function. Create a new file index.ts and add the core Lambda function. Import API Gateway Proxy Handler from AWS Lambda. Import AWS from AWS SDK. Const EventBridge equals new AWS EventBridge. Export const handler. API Gateway Proxy Handler equals async event equals greater than. Const body equals json.parse event.body. Const, rule name, event pattern, target arn equals body. Try. / create event bridge rule. Await EventBridge.put rule. Name, rule name. Event pattern, json.stringify event pattern. State, enabled. Promise. / add target to the rule. Await EventBridge.put targets. Rule, rule name. Targets. Id, target ID. ARN, target ARN. Promise. Return. Status code, 200. Body, JSON.stringify message, rule created successfully. Semicolon. Catch, error. Return. Status code, 500. Body, JSON.stringify message, error creating rule, error. Semicolon. Dynamic generation of EventBridge rules. In the Lambda function above, we dynamically create EventBridge rules based on the incoming request. The putRule method creates or updates a rule, and putTargets associates a target, for example, another Lambda function, with the rule. API execution and rule cleanup. To test our Lambda function and EventBridge rule creation, we can use the AWS API gateway to expose an endpoint. Additionally, we should implement a mechanism to clean up the rules when they are no longer needed. Export const delete rule, API gateway proxy handler equals async, event, equals greater than. Const body equals json.parse event.body. Const, rule name, equals body. Try. / remove targets. Await EventBridge.remove targets. Rule name. IDS, target ID. Promise. / delete rule. Await EventBridge.delete rule. Name, rule name. Promise. Return. Status code, 200. Body, JSON.stringify message, rule deleted successfully. Semicolon. Catch, error. Return. Status code, 500. Body, JSON.stringify message, error deleting rule, error. Semicolon. Advanced use cases and customization. EventBridge offers advanced features such as event buses, schema discovery, and integration with SaaS applications. Here are some advanced use cases and customization tips. Cross-account event delivery. Configure EventBridge to route events across different AWS accounts for multi-account setups. Schema registry. Using the schema registry to manage and discover event schemas ensures application consistency. SaaS integration. Connect EventBridge with third-party SaaS applications to automate multiple service workflows. Conclusion and best practices. AWS EventBridge and TypeScript provide a powerful combination for building dynamic event-driven applications. You can easily create scalable and responsive applications by following the steps outlined in this podcast. Remember to adhere to best practices such as security. IAM roles and policies to secure your Lambda functions and EventBridge rules. Error handling. Implement robust error handling and logging mechanisms. Testing. Thoroughly test your event-driven workflows to ensure reliability. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website, and follow our social media links.